At the gym in front of his friends he said, "She tries but you can't fix genetics." They laughed while I stood there holding his water bottle. I said nothing. I smiled and calmly waited. This morning my phone blew up with 13 missed calls. At the gym in front of his friends my husband said, "She tries but you cannot fix genetics." They laughed. I was standing right there holding his water bottle. It was one of those crowded Saturday mornings at Iron Forge Fitness in Tempe. The regulars were there. Marcus and Devin were spotting him at the bench press. A couple of girls from the spin class were stretching nearby. I had just finished wiping down the treadmill I used. He said it casually like he was commenting on the weather. Marcus asked him how I liked the new training plan my husband had made for me. That was when he smirked and said it. "He tries but you cannot fix genetics." They all looked at me for a second. Not long enough to feel guilty. Just long enough to confirm I had heard it. I smiled. I handed him his bottle. I even said, "You forgot your towel." I did not argue. I did not cry. I did not leave. The worst part was that this was not new. Eric had always found ways to turn me into a project. When we first started dating 3 years ago he said he admired that I was determined. After we got married that turned into comments about how lucky I was that he understood fitness. He posted before and after pictures of his clients online. Sometimes he joked that I was his long-term experiment. At home he was worse. He monitored what I ate. He commented on how my sister looked in a dress compared to me. He once told me I should be grateful he married for personality. I used to think it was motivation. Then I realized it was control. The gym comment felt different though. It was public. It was meant to humiliate. On the drive home he acted like nothing happened. He talked about a new client he was onboarding and how Marcus was thinking of opening a second location. He even reached over and squeezed my knee at a red light. "You know I push you because I care, right?" I nodded. That night I stood in our bathroom looking at myself in the mirror. Not to criticize. Not to measure. Just to look. There was nothing wrong with me. I am not built like the women he follows on Instagram. I never will be. But I am healthy. I am strong. I run 3 miles without stopping. I work full-time as a financial analyst and still cook dinner most nights. I pay half the mortgage. Genetics. That word kept replaying in my head. Eric built his whole identity around physical perfection. His social media was full of filtered photos, protein powder sponsorships, and motivational captions about discipline. What people did not know was that he panicked if he missed one workout. He refused to attend events if he thought there would be unplanned food. He spent more time editing photos than actually training. That night while he slept I opened his laptop. I was not snooping for the first time. But this time I was not looking for messages or proof of cheating. I logged into the shared business folder for his coaching clients. I handle numbers for a living. I understand trends. Patterns. Within 10 minutes my stomach dropped. The client progress photos on his public page did not match the raw files stored in his system. The timestamps were different. The lighting was different. Some before photos were taken months apart but labeled as 6-week transformations. A few after shots were clearly edited. I zoomed in and saw warped backgrounds near waists and arms. I kept digging. Several clients were on extreme calorie deficits. One girl, Madison, was 19 and had emailed him about losing her period. His response was in the folder. "Totally normal during a cut. Stay disciplined." Another client mentioned dizziness during workouts. He told him to double the cardio. I sat back in the dark. It was not just ego. It was dangerous. Around 2 in the morning I created a folder on my own cloud drive and started copying everything. Screenshots. Email threads. Original image files with metadata. I did not know what I was going to do yet. But for the first time in a long time I felt calm. The next morning I woke up before him. I made coffee. I kissed his cheek before leaving for work. He said he had a big announcement coming soon. Something that would take his brand national. I smiled again. At lunch I made 3 phone calls. The first was to a former college friend who now works at the Arizona State Licensing Board for Health and Fitness Professionals. The second was to Madison. Her phone number was in the client sheet. The third was to a local journalist who had once interviewed Eric about his rapid transformation method. By the time I got back to my desk, my hands were shaking, but not from fear. That was Saturday. This morning my phone blew up with 13 missed calls. All from Eric. And one voicemail that just said, "What did you do?" I did not call him back right away. I was already at work when the calls started coming in. My phone was face down on my desk during a budget meeting. It kept vibrating across the wood like it was trying to escape. When I finally turned it over, I saw 13 missed calls, 2 voicemails, 3 texts. Call me. Juliana, what did you do? This is not funny. I stepped into the hallway and listened to the second voicemail. His voice was different. Not angry. Not calm either. Just tight. The board contacted me. And some reporter. Why are they asking about client files? I leaned against the wall and stared out the window at the parking lot. I had not expected it to move this fast. Saturday afternoon, Madison called me back. She sounded nervous. She said she thought she was the only one who felt sick all the time. She said Eric told her not to tell her parents because they would not understand competitive cutting. She had saved all their messages. The licensing board friend, Claire, did not promise anything. She just said if what I sent was authentic, it was serious. She asked me to forward everything through the official portal. The journalist, Aaron Patel from the local business section, was more direct. He said they were already working on a feature about unregulated online coaching. When I mentioned manipulated photos, there was a long pause. Then he asked if I could verify the source. I told him I was his wife. Silence again. That was Saturday. By Sunday evening, Eric was pacing around the living room, glued to his phone. He had not told me anything yet. He was trying to figure out where the leak came from. I played my part. What is going on? I asked. He said someone was trying to sabotage him. Probably a jealous competitor. He mentioned Marcus. He mentioned a former client who quit last year. He did not mention me. That night I slept in the guest room. I told him I had a headache. This morning after the missed calls I finally texted him back. I am at work. What happened? He responded immediately. They froze my certification pending investigation. And that reporter is threatening to publish something. Did you talk to anyone? I did not answer that question. Instead I wrote, what are they investigating? He called again. I let it ring once, twice, then picked up. They are saying I falsified transformation photos. That I gave unsafe diet plans. This is insane. Did you? I asked. There was a pause. You do not understand how marketing works. Everyone enhances photos. It is branding. And the diet plans are tailored. Madison lost her period, I said. Another pause. Longer this time. How do you know about Madison? That was the moment. I could almost hear the pieces clicking together in his head. Juliana, he said slowly, what exactly did you send them? I did not raise my voice. I did not accuse him. I just said the original files. The emails. The metadata. He swore under his breath. You went through my computer. It is our computer, I said. And those are real people. He started talking fast after that. About how I had no idea how hard he worked. How the industry was competitive. How one bad article could ruin everything he built. How I was supposed to support him. Support you while you humiliate me in front of your friends. That was the first time I mentioned the gym. He exhaled sharply. You are seriously doing this because of a joke. It was not a joke. You are overreacting. This is exactly what I mean. You are emotional. You do not think strategically. I let him talk. The irony was almost impressive. The man who built his brand on discipline was unraveling in real time. By noon, Aaron's article went live online. The headline was not subtle. It mentioned deceptive marketing and unsafe coaching practices. It quoted anonymous client complaints. It referenced an ongoing investigation by the Arizona Licensing Board. It did not mention me by name. But it did include side-by-side images of one of Eric's most viral transformations, with analysis of digital distortion in the background tiles. Within an hour, his social media comments exploded. By 2 o'clock, 2 of his corporate gym contracts announced they were reviewing their partnerships. 3. Marcus texted me. What is going on with Eric? Did you know about this? I did not respond. At 5, I left work early. When I pulled into our driveway, his car was already there. The front door was open. And when I walked inside, our living room looked like a storm had passed through. His framed certifications were on the floor. His laptop was open on the coffee table. And Eric was sitting on the couch, staring straight ahead. When he saw me, he stood up. You just destroyed my career, he said. I put my purse down carefully. No, I said. You did that yourself. He looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. And for the first time in 3 years, I was not the one trying to fix something. He was. He did not scream. He sat down and started talking about lawsuits, contracts, defamation. He said I had handed people ammunition. He said perception mattered more than facts. I asked him one thing. Did you fake those photos? He did not answer directly. He said everyone edits. Everyone markets. I was being emotional. Then his phone kept buzzing. Marcus suspended their expansion deal. 2 corporate gyms paused their partnerships. A client posted screenshots about extreme dieting. Others started commenting. I had not told them to speak. They just did. He looked at me and asked if I planned all of it. Well, there was a knock at the door. 2 compliance officers from the gym informed him his access was revoked during the investigation. They were calm. Professional. It was real. After they left, he said I ruined our future. I told him he ruined it himself. That night he packed a bag and left. Said he needed space. Around midnight, I got a call from an attorney representing several former clients. They were preparing a civil case for negligence and deceptive practices. She asked if I would give a formal statement. I looked around the kitchen at the house I helped pay for at the silence. As I said, Eric did not come home the next day. Instead, I received an email from him. Not a message. Not an apology. A formal email. Subject line, urgent. He said his lawyer advised him not to communicate verbally. He said I was exposing myself to legal risk by cooperating with hostile parties. He suggested we present a united front to minimize damage. He also asked if I had shared any financial records. That last part caught my attention. Financial records. I work in finance. I manage risk for a living. When we got married, we kept separate personal accounts but opened one joint business support account for his coaching brand. I handled bookkeeping during tax season because he hated numbers. That night, after his email, I logged into the business dashboard. At first glance, everything looked normal. Client payments, supplement affiliate deposits, monthly expenses. Then I filtered by transfers. Over the past 8 months, large sums had been moved from the business account to a separate LLC I did not recognize. I searched the name. It was registered 2 states away. The sole listed manager was Eric Thompson. Not our shared address. Not our shared state. A different mailing location entirely. I felt something colder than anger. I opened more statements. There were consulting payments labeled brand development. Equipment purchases that never arrived at our house. Travel reimbursements for trips he told me were local seminars. The dates lined up with weekends he said he was coaching intensives. I sat back slowly. This was not just ego. This was preparation. He had been building something separate, possibly planning an exit. The next morning, I forwarded the financial irregularities to a divorce attorney before sending them to anyone else. Her name was Diane Keller. He did not waste time. She told me to stop accessing shared funds immediately. She told me not to confront him yet. She told me to gather everything quietly. So I did. While Eric was publicly posting vague statements about false accusations and industry jealousy, I was downloading bank records. While he went live to defend his brand, I was scanning tax filings. By Wednesday, the article had been picked up by a larger fitness watchdog blog. Screenshots of warped backgrounds were circulating. Former clients were stitching videos with their own stories. Eric finally called me directly again. "Why are you freezing accounts?" he demanded. I did not freeze anything. The bank did. After reviewing unusual transfers. Silence. Then he said something that confirmed everything. "You had no right to go through my private entities." Private. After 3 years of marriage. After telling me we were building a future together. I asked him where the money went. "It is business strategy. Is that what you call it?" He did not answer. Later that afternoon, Diane called me. "Juliana," she said, "I need to ask you something clearly. Did you know about this second LLC? "No." She paused. "Then you need to understand this. He has been moving shared revenue into a separate asset pool. If divorce proceedings begin, he may argue it is independent property." Divorce proceedings. Hearing it said out loud felt surreal. That night, Eric showed up unannounced. He did not look polished. No gym bag. No fitted shirt. Just a plain hoodie and tired eyes. "We need to fix this," he said. "Fix what?" He stepped inside like he still owned the place. "You made your point. I get it. I should not have joked like that. I should not have pushed so hard. But we can recover. I can pivot the brand. Rebrand. Couples fitness. Transparency angle. Couples fitness. I almost admired how quickly he turned crisis into opportunity. You are not listening, I said. He stopped talking. This is not about a rebrand. This is about trust. He ran a hand through his hair. You are blowing this up because you cannot handle criticism. And there it was again. Same pattern. Different day. I walked to the hallway closet and took out a folder. Inside were printed bank transfers, LLC filings, timestamps. I handed it to him. His face changed as he flipped through the pages. Where did you get this? Public records are public, I said. For the first time since all of this started, he did not argue. He just stared at the paperwork. You were planning something, I said. Without me. He did not deny it. I was protecting myself, he replied. From what? From instability. That word stayed in the air between us. Instability. I realized then that in his mind I was the risk. Not his deception. Not his lies. Me. He put the papers down slowly. What do you want? It was the first honest question he had asked. I looked at him and felt something I had not expected. Not anger. Clarity. I want out. He blinked. Out of what? The marriage. And this time I did not smile. He did not argue when I said I wanted a divorce. He tried to negotiate. We divide everything quietly. You withdraw your statement. I fixed the brand. No more damage. I said no. The suspension became official. Sponsors pulled back. More clients joined the civil case. His following started shrinking. Then something shifted. Madison texted me. She said she thought it was her fault until now. Another client emailed to say she finally told her family. This was bigger than us. A national wellness podcast reached out and asked if I would speak anonymously about toxic fitness culture from the inside. I thought about it all night. Eric left a voicemail. If you go public, you burn everything down. On Monday, I filed for divorce. On Tuesday, I recorded the episode. I stuck to facts. No insults. No exaggeration. 2 weeks later, it aired. My phone started ringing again. But this time, the calls were not from Eric. One number, though, stopped me cold. It was from someone I never thought I would hear from again. The number was his mother. He told me she listened to the podcast. Then she said something I did not expect. This was not the first time. Before our wedding, Eric had another coaching issue. Complaints. A quiet payout. His parents handled it. They thought marriage would steady him. That word again. Steady. Stable. Later that day, my lawyer called. Eric wanted to settle fast. He was offering a better financial split if I signed a confidentiality agreement and stopped doing media. I asked one thing. Does it stop me from cooperating in the civil case? No. I agreed with a condition. Full financial disclosure. Every account. Every LE. We met at my lawyer's office 2 days later. He looked exhausted. He signed first. When it was over, he said I could have just left without destroying everything. I told him I did leave. I just told the truth first. 3 months later, his certification was revoked. The case settled quietly. His brand disappeared. I moved into a smaller place across town. New gym. No shared history. I do not smile politely anymore when someone tries to shrink me. Genetics were never the issue. It was character.